April the 8th, 11:03 p.m. This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com. Just reviewed the results of the Dynamite and NXT shows. Nothing interesting really stood out to me. Triple H responded to a question from Sports Illustrated today about AEW continuously beating NXT in the Wednesday night ratings war that WWE actually created themselves. And Triple H responded, "I'm a believer in the long-term game. You create the right product, and over time, people will find it." So that's his excuse. So the last time NXT won, from what I can find, was actually December 19th, 2019. Someone please correct me with that if I'm wrong. I don't believe NXT has won in 2020. And then he's talking about long-term. Well, the very first ratings war, the very first night of it, AEW Dynamite beat NXT 0.68 to 0.32. Last week, NXT did a 0.15 only to Dynamite 0.25. So both shows have lost a tremendous amount of popularity. You can say it's due to the coronavirus, but for instance, I usually average around 3.5 million views a month. Last month, I averaged 5.2 million. So more people are at home. More people are watching TV and YouTube. WWE has no sports competition, neither does AEW. So I don't find coronavirus to be an excuse at all. So for Triple H's long-term game, okay, what's the long-term game? You go from a 0.32 rating to a 0.15. Maybe eventually it's going to suddenly turn up. In my view, if your ratings are going down every week, your product sucks. That's in my view. And I feel that they should actually replace Triple H. The Raw numbers before the coronavirus were also bad. They scored a very low post-WrestleMania Raw rating. And it's unfortunate for them that the ratings keep going down. SmackDown is doing the exact same ratings as before the coronavirus lockdown on Fox. So they haven't dropped as much as Raw. They're pretty steady. WWE Backstage this week did a 0.4 rating. In UFC news, apparently they're going to be doing their events this month, starting this month, on native land in California. And the Tribal Commission is actually not going to sanction this event. The California Athletic Commission is not going to sanction this event because they have recommended that no sporting events occurred. But since it's on native land, I guess UFC is going to create their own commission. And as I reported yesterday, for their international fighters who can't get into the U.S., it appears UFC has secured an island somewhere, and they're going to be doing fights on this hidden island. Today, I actually did a Skype interview with Amber Nova, who's wrestled for Impact and NXT. Really great girl, up-and-coming star. She's also a fitness model, absolutely gorgeous female. Great interview. Buff Bagwell is doing an extended Skype interview with me tomorrow, so anyone that has a question, suggestion for me to ask Buff Bagwell, let me know. I'll go through some of your questions. Hey to Sean, Mario, how am I doing? I'm doing all right. Just finishing this lovely energy drink full of beets and other greens before I go for my run. Does anyone really win with what both companies produce? Sam Lenz said, well, they have TV contracts paying the money, so they win as far as getting big money from these TV stations. Do I think The Undertaker is done? No, not at all. He's making a lot of money every time he appears, so he's going to keep appearing as long as they need him, and they definitely need him. Richard M. says Triple H is giving AEW a great push. Sam Len says Undertaker was done 8 years ago. Hans says, yeah, but with no audience, it sucks to watch it. Well, it's their choice to do these shows with no crowd. They could post old footage. They could post shoot interviews with talent. They could do vignettes, shoot interviews mixed with old footage. Nobody is forcing them to produce matches in empty arenas, which does suck. But if you look at SmackDown, their ratings have not changed. So yes, SmackDown is not doing great ratings, but they're getting the same ratings as before the coronavirus. And by the way, before the coronavirus, ratings were on a decline. So don't use that as an excuse. Mario Alexander, WWE creative is horrible. They bury the good talent. Do I watch the Brawl for All tournament documentary? Miguel Lopez says, no, I will not watch anything further those people produce. I don't like them. Can I ask Buff about his favorite match? Paulinium says, yes. TNT Pro Wrestling Booking Agent, love my content. PCP Films, tell Buff his WCW tight game was always on point. Neo's GX-G1, after WrestleMania, I'm convinced wrestling is dead. Well, I don't think that Fiend versus John Cena match is going to get them any more new viewers, that's for sure. Anyone that's not a hardcore smart mark, unless you're maybe developmentally delayed or a very small child, is not going to find that interesting. Jay-Z, when WWE goes on hiatus, they can just show 2 hours of Sid breaking his legs. That's rating. Actually, you know what? Someone made a comment yesterday on my video about Hulk Hogan saying this coronavirus was caused by God. Do you know what would get ratings? Have Hulk Hogan come on your TV and do this gimmick where he's claiming God is getting revenge on all of us and causing all this harm and destructiveness in this world right now. I think that would get huge ratings, having Hulk Hogan come and spread his word about that. He lives in Florida. You could just go to his house and do it. Lots of questions here for Bagwell. So I'll leave it at that. Have a good night, everyone. I'm about to hit the road. It's supposed to rain later, so I want to not get caught in the rain.